This is High School Clubs, the show about the clubs that actually change your life. Your hosts are Robbie and Terry, both 15. Every week they break it down so you actually get it.
The clubs that actually change your life. I'm Terry.
And I'm Robbie, and today we're talking about the school newspaper. Yes, the thing that's been ignored in the hallway since roughly the dawn of time.
Harsh, Robbie, but also kind of fair. Like, when did you last actually pick one up?
I picked one up last Tuesday to fan myself during that fire drill, so I'd say newspapers are very much still relevant.
Okay, functional use. But here's the thing, school newspapers are where some of the biggest names in journalism got their start.
We're talking people like Christian Amanpour, Bob Woodward, even Toni Morrison wrote for her school paper back in the day.
And it makes sense, because a school newspaper is basically a safe place to make mistakes before the real world can fire you for them.
That's honestly the most encouraging thing I've ever heard about journalism school.
The National Scholastic Press Association, which is a real organization, says there are about 14,000 student newspapers active in the US right now.
14,000. That's a lot of opinion columns about the cafeteria pizza.
Which, for the record, deserve to be written. Accountability starts local, Robbie.
True. And that's actually the core of it. Journalism is about holding power accountable, even if the power in question is the vice principal.
Especially if the power in question is the vice principal.
So what actually happens in newspaper club? Because I always imagine a chaotic room full of people yelling, "Stop the presses."
It's a little less cinematic than that, but honestly not by much. You've got reporters, editors, photographers, designers, and the one person who knows how to use InDesign.
That InDesign person is worth their weight in gold. By the way, untouchable. Do not upset them.
They're the backbone of the operation, but every role is genuinely different. Reporters are out interviewing people. Photographers are at every game and event.
And editors are basically learning to manage people and deadlines at 15, which is a skill that will carry them forever.
One study found that students who work on school newspapers score significantly higher on reading and writing assessments than those who don't.
Which tracks, because you cannot write a tight 200-word article about the homecoming float without getting really good at cutting unnecessary words.
Speaking from experience,
I may have submitted a 700-word piece about the vending machine being moved and been gently asked to trim it.
a classic rookie error. Every journalist has a version of that story.
So let's talk about the finding your voice part, because that phrase gets thrown around a lot.
Right. So your voice in writing is basically your perspective, the way you frame a question, what details you notice, what you care about enough to investigate.
And the newspaper is like a gym for that. Every article you write is a rep. You get stronger by doing it over and over.
And here's something cool. School newspapers have First Amendment protections in most states, which means students have real press freedom.
31 states actually have student press freedom laws that specifically protect student journalists from censorship by school administrators.
31 states. So in a lot of places, you have more legal protection than people might assume.
That's not just a club. That's a constitutional right with a meeting time.
Which is wild and wonderful and something a lot of students don't know when they walk in on day one.
What's the hardest part for beginners, do you think?
Honestly, asking questions. Most people are terrified to approach someone they don't know and say, "Hey, can I interview you about the science fair?"
But that discomfort is literally the job. You do it enough times and it stops being scary and starts being kind of exciting.
Because when someone tells you something you didn't know and you realize you're going to share that with everyone, that feeling is actually incredible.
It's the closest a 15-year-old can get to feeling like a real detective without the trench coat.
I would argue the trench coat is optional but not discouraged.
Style points matter in any profession. Now, what about people who don't want to write? Can they still be part of the paper?
100%. Photographers, illustrators, social media managers, podcast producers, if your school has that, layout designers.
Modern school newspapers are often multimedia operations now, with websites, Instagram accounts, even video segments.
So if you're the kid who always has a camera or you're obsessed with making things look beautiful on a screen, there's a role for you.
The paper is basically a startup, and startups need every kind of person.
That's a great way to put it. And like a startup, you'll mess up, you'll correct the record, you'll get better fast.
The correction is actually a badge of honor. It means you published, you got checked, and you handled it with integrity.
And integrity is the whole game in journalism. Once you lose it, you don't really get it back.
Heavy but true. Okay, so if someone wants to join, what's step one?
Show up. Seriously, just find the room, introduce yourself to whoever's in charge, and say you want to help.
You don't need a portfolio, you don't need experience, you just need curiosity and the willingness to ask questions nobody else is asking.
The school newspaper gave a lot of people their first sense that their words could matter to someone beyond their own journal.
And that's the whole point of finding your voice, not just learning to speak, but discovering you had something worth saying all along.
Beautifully put, Robbie. I'm genuinely a little moved.
Don't tell anyone. Okay, that's our show. Join your school paper, ask the uncomfortable questions, protect your InDesign person, and see you next week on High School Clubs.